Howdy, everybody. So, Life Lesson Friday for September 15th, 2023. Check engine light is on. And this is something that happens to a lot of people. But it happened to me this morning. And literally, driving my kids to school and my check engine light came on. So, I went to the store, got the groceries I needed. Luckily, I was actually planning originally to go to drive 90 miles away this morning to go to a cross country meet. But I decided last night that it was not going to happen because I also have the garage door repairman coming to fix a garage door that my son broke last weekend. And they were supposed to be coming this morning, which they did. But so luckily I wasn't on my way to College Station when the check engine light came on, but the check engine light came on. So I go get my groceries, come back through, stop at O'Reilly's Auto Parts so they can check it and see like, okay, what's the code, what's going on. And it's the catalytic converter set it off. So, so they gave me some stuff to hopefully clean that a little bit. Hopefully take care of that and sort of reset the code. But if not, that's going to go down another road of a major repair on the vehicle. But it made me think and brought up today's Life Lesson Friday topic of your check engine light, in that a lot of us, for our internal check engine light, we either are ignoring it or we don't see it, we don't hear it. But with documented over 70% of people overweight or obese in our country, and that is 100% a sign of something is not proper in your body. That's a check engine light. Headaches, guess what? That's a check engine light. Constipation, diarrhea, check engine lights. Right? Like, we see these things all the time. Skin rashes, check engine light. If it's not, obviously a skin rash that you get because you put your hand in poison ivy, that's different. But if you just have a skin rash, it won't go away. Like, I used to have these bumps on the back of my arm, on my triceps. For years, I had these little bumps on the back of my triceps. And my mom had them. I've got other family members that have them. And so it was just, we just get those in our family type of situation. No, it was 100% diet related. When I started cutting things out of my diet that were inflammatory, not just to me, but to the entire human gut, when I started cutting those things out of my diet, guess what? The bumps went away. Skin clears up. I've got people that tell me that I look like I'm in my 30s. And they're astonished when I tell them how old I am. Right? And a lot of that is, I started looking at the check engine light. Why is the check engine light going off? Right? And while I was tempted, when I was at the grocery store, I was tempted to say, I can't afford this right now. I will deal with it in a couple of weeks, right? Like, it's just an initial check engine. Car seems like it's running fine. I'll be fine. But I said, no, something like pull over into O'Reilly's. The smart thing to do is get a test done, see what's going on. Talk to somebody who's an expert, find out what's going on, right? If this stuff doesn't work that they gave me to put into the gas tank to try and clean out the fuel system and try and clean out the catalytic converter, if that doesn't work, I'm calling my buddy over at the mechanic shop and saying, hey, look, check engine light, this is what the code was. I'm going to bring it in. Let's figure out what we need to do. Right? It's going to cost money. But a lot of times, here's what people do, is that they don't do the check engine light, right? And I'm going to tell you, and we all know somebody, probably somebody in our family, but we all know somebody in our circle of friends and network that probably I would bet at least once a year but more than likely, once a month, you hear a story of somebody, whether it's an actual friend of yours or they're telling you of their friend, right? So it's within two separations of you that you hear a story on a monthly basis of so and so went to the doctor and they had a 90% blockage in their artery or more, right? 90% or 95 or 99. And let me tell you something. You don't get to 90% blockage in your artery overnight. You don't. That is a long-term ignoring the check engine light that causes that to happen. Right? And so, and I know people, I have driven with my check engine light on before. Right? For a long time. I know people that have had their check engine light go off. They go into the dealer or the mechanic and they get it checked out and they say, yeah, well, it's registering this and we don't know what is going on. We don't know why it's doing that. We can't, like, or the check engine light's on and it's this. You can get it fixed or not. It's not really going to affect anything unless you're in an area where they do smog testing, right? Or they do this or that. And so I know people that have taken black tape and covered up the check engine light on their dash so that they don't see it. It's still on, but they don't see it. And the check engine light, as I'm reading the instructions of the stuff that the guy gave me at the store to hopefully clean my issue out, it says on there, if your check engine light goes off or comes on, right? If it comes on, so it's a signal, it's going off saying something's wrong. Driving with it like that could cause serious damage. So why is it that so many people, vast, especially in the US, especially in Western cultures, the vast majority of people live their lives every day with their check engine light on, and they don't do anything about it? The vast majority of people. And that's why I do what I do. Right? That's what I was called to do, is to help people hopefully realize, like, oh my gosh, my check engine light is on. What do I do? How do I deal with it? What steps do I need to take? How do I become disciplined enough to make sure that I take care of the situation before you have to go spend $200,000 on a heart bypass? And that could be cheap. It could be a lot more than that, depending on where you live, kind of, part of the country you're in, who your doctor is, right? Like, the better the doctor, the higher that's going to be. And a lot of that can be out of your pocket. Insurance companies are starting to squeeze, right? And so if your check engine light is going on, dealing with it early in the process is going to help prevent bigger issues down the road, right? Because, like, I'm not a mechanic, but I don't know a whole lot about the internal workings of a combustion engine. But I do know that if one thing is starting to work improperly and inefficiently, it's eventually going to cause something else to work improperly and inefficiently. Right? And it's eventually going to cause something else to work improperly and inefficiently. So if you don't catch it and fix the first thing, what's going to happen? Right? Like, we've all most of us have probably either been in a car that's had a flat tire or been driving one, right? I've had multiple flat tires that have happened on the highway over the years. And when it happens, you can make one or two decisions. You can stop and fix it, right? That's the check engine light going off, like, boom. You got a flat tire, you can stop and fix it, or you can keep driving on it. If you keep driving on it, what's going to happen? You're going to not only have to replace the tire, you're probably going to have to replace the wheel. Then you may have to place some suspension parts because it's going to do damage as it's continuing, right? And so when your check engine light is going on, which is, I'm short of breath, I'm not relaxing as easily as I should, I'm not sleeping as well as I could, or as long as I should be able to. I'm not getting over the stress, right? These are the early signs. When you go in and get tested, my cholesterol's too high, my high blood pressure, my heart rate's too high. All of these things. These are all signs that are saying, guess what? Your check engine light is going off and blinking at you in like neon, hello, like you need to get fixed now before bigger things happen. So this is not unintentionally a longer version of your Life Lesson Friday, but basically because I care so much about you that I want you to take care of yourself. And I want you to understand that if your check engine light is going on, you need to intervene. You need to intervene. And sometimes you need to have somebody else intervene with you, right? Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about combustion engines. I can do a little bit of stuff. I can replace a belt. I can change the oil. But, check engine light going off in a catalytic converter or the fuel system or something like that. Guess what? I'm going to an expert immediately. And so that's what you need to do. If your check engine light is going on, you need to talk to somebody who knows what's going on, who knows how to help you correct the issue. So I know that a lot of people, like I said, more than 70% of people are at some stage of unhealthy in the United States right now. And so that means 7 out of 10 people that watch this. So if you're one of those people, I want to help you. And if you don't want to reach out to me, reach out to somebody else who knows what they're doing, who can help you start to turn that around. Because you can. You can turn it around. You can turn it around. It's not too late. If you're listening to this, you're still alive, and it's not too late. You can turn it around. You can make the changes, and you can turn your check engine light off so that you can start cruising down the road and enjoying life without having to worry about what's around the next corner. So that's your Life Lesson Friday for September 15th. Hope you all have a great weekend. It's raining here finally where I am. We're finally getting some rain after like over 2 months without it. So if it's raining where you are, enjoy it, because it doesn't always stick around. And we need it because that's what helps the world grow. That's what helps us grow. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to y'all soon.